All right, ciao ragazzi. My name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. It is time. It's that sort of season. There is no time. There is no time between games. It's all time to preview. And I am with my brother, Bruno. How you doing, my friend?
I'm confident. I'm happy.
Yeah?
This Inter team look different.
You look good. I look good.
I know, you do too. I like your shirt.
Oh, likewise, man. Thank you. We've got 14 people with us right now. So make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new, and let us know as usual in the comments. We are here today to talk about one thing and one thing only. And we're going to talk about that for a few seconds before we make a short little cutaway. Bruno says he's positive. There's an element of me that's positive as well, which means there's more negativity in me because I hate feeling like this. But at the end of the day, I saw that Barca team play Celta on the weekend. They're beatable. They are beatable. We can definitely get something away from the Camp Nou. Bruno, initial thoughts for 1 minute.
Look, we get a draw out of this game. It's almost guaranteed to head into the round of 16. We've got Barca on head-to-head. We've got Victoria Pleasant.
At home.
At home. You never know.
Bayern might be qualified already before we go to München.
They'll more than likely already be qualified. They had another draw on the weekend. That was in their derby against Dortmund. So, honestly, it's tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. But with the right elements on the field and the right chemistry that's happening, Dzeko with that double on the weekend is giving him all the confidence in the world.
Yep.
The one thing Inter do need to sort out is leadership.
For sure.
You can't have Skriniar captain one match, D'Ambrosio captain the next, and then Lautaro captain once D'Ambrosio gets off, who comes off for Skriniar. So once that's sorted, you have more stability, and stability comes results. So it's going to be tough, but I am quietly optimistic about this result.
Yeah, well said. Over to the comments for initial hellos and then a short cutaway. What's going on to our brother, our partner, Sama, Emiliano, Marvel, Matt Pickham. All the members are in the house tonight. Durkee D, good to see you as well. Kamal is back. So is Rocky Ferrero. Sartak Boom says Barca will destroy Inter. Viva El Barca. Hey, man, at the end of the day, you're here on my channel saying hello, and I appreciate that more than anything. Kamal says Xavi is pissed. He's out for blood. Yeah, he is, but I have a feeling they're talking about it that one day too much. A bigger side would have gotten over it by now, in my opinion. Matt Pickham says UEFA Lova coming to get us. Who knows, man? We might just be able to get them back. Guys, I hope you're hyped for a really good match preview with myself and Bruno. Stick around. We won't be long. A word from our awesome sponsor. Before we start this video, it is my pleasure to announce that it is sponsored by the OneFootball app. OneFootball is your one-stop shop for all your latest news, statistics, live scores, and transfer updates from all of your favorite clubs, players, leagues, and of course your rivals across the world of football. OneFootball has added many new features to their app recently. You can watch full matches and friendlies from around the world, as well as full match highlights. You can personalize your newsfeed and notifications to suit you as well. However, for the lucky fans in the UK, the Serie A fans in the UK, you now have access to one live full match every match day. And for us Inter fans in the UK and Ireland, keep an eye out at the back end of October for our fixtures against Fiorentina and Sampdoria, and watch this space at Inter Worldwide for more information. The link is in the description. Make sure you click it and download OneFootball right now. Ciao. Fantastic stuff. OneFootball, it's in the name. One-stop shop, only one app, everything that you need at the click of a button. Time to click another button, and we start with the last result. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, bottom bins, bottom right, knows Ter Stegen's weakness. Onana actually gave him that heads up just before the game. Aim low. Ter Stegen struggles if you aim low. I'm sure we'll be aiming low again, but Bruno, Hakan, whispers coming out that his agent is actually in Milano, ready to sign an extension for 1 year until 2024. Fantastic, because if he has another season like he had last season, and now we've actually got a free asset on the books that we can probably coop some money for if we want to let him go. Bruno, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on Hakan this season, and I think he is actually going to be pivotal in a match where we are going to clog the midfield, man.
Just, if you go back to the first fixture, he took that Brozovic approach and he made it his own, and he was phenomenal in the attack, but he also dropped back for the defensive duties as well. In saying that, you have DeMarco and Damian who were making up for the missing Brozovic, so we overcapitalized in that position, which essentially gave us the result in the end. We got the win, but he's taken Brozovic's role and made it his own with this injury. And, you know, he's not replacing Brozovic, but when you've got Barella, Mkhitaryan there, you can really compensate with Hakan there. And I just think it is pivotal. His performance will be pivotal. His vision will be pivotal, because this Barca team is going to be extremely hard to break down. And they're out for blood. A couple of comments mentioned that. I think personally, we'll get some decent coin for him if we did want to go. I can see the Premier League sniffing around, Chelsea looking for someone in that midfield to take over that Jorginho role. Manchester United, you know, Liverpool even, they're struggling like you've never seen. What are they, 10th? So, you know, they're willing to pay overs, and especially for a player who's performed the way they have with Hakan there, phenomenal.
Absolutely, man. Very well said. No, nothing else for me to add. The heart and the desire is what we saw in that last fixture, and I think that we're going to see more of that in this match. However, when we look at the starting lineup very soon, you'll notice that the man on the left actually isn't in the starting predicted lineup, but we all know that these lineups are subject to change. Bruno, how important is it that the manager and the players are all on the same page coming into this one, man?
It's ridiculously
It's
important.
fundamental, isn't it?
You don't have that foundation, the building above is going to collapse. It's
Yeah.
not going to bend like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It is going to collapse. And essentially, these two players need that. These players, sorry, and the manager, if they're not on the same page, you really are going to see a team collapse. 4-1 is probably an optimistic result if these players are not on the same page. The coach, the players. Now, Inzaghi's instilled into the players' minds, you get a yellow, you're off. Against Barcelona, you need to get yellows. And you can't be subbing the players off for getting those yellows.
Exactly
So
right.
essentially, Inzaghi's got to say, look, if you get a yellow, okay, but you need to prove to me that you're not dangerous.
Yeah.
If you've got a player getting a yellow in, the opening 10 minins, their whole game for the rest of the game is going to be set off. And Inzaghi has the right to substitute them. But at the same time, if you get a yellow and it's, 40 minutes in, you're not taking him off after 41 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we've seen a couple of times with Bastoni and whoever gets the yellow. So essentially, he's got to give them a bit of freedom, a bit of trust. If your players are to pick up yellows this game, who cares?
Yep.
Pick up your second yellow against Victoria Pleasant. Pick up your second yellow. We need you need to get that out of you need to have confidence that your players can get the job done.
Yeah.
And a yellow card's part of the game. But not just that. They need to know, you don't want to see players with their heads in their hands. Why am I getting substituted? The game plan's got to be straightforward. If we're level with 10 minutes to go, well, Dumfries, you're staying on the bench. If we're down with 20 minutes to go, Damian, you're coming off. Or whatever the case may be. It's just, Inter's very limited in attack with Correa not meeting the he's out injured. Lukaku, he's always
he won't be back. He won't be back. He wants to think he'll be back for the bench, but we know how this goes. He'll be back against Salernitana, so he can stat pad his way back into the side.
So you really need the front to be on top. I think our defense will get us into the next round. It will be absolutely pivotal because now, even if we lose every game from now on in, you really can't see Victoria Pleasant coming up and getting the 2 wins to overtake us. So essentially, it's round of 16 or Europa League, and the same goes for Barcelona at the moment. Inter's in the better position, but once you go 2 goals down, head-to-head's thrown out the window. We've got to go for blood.
Exactly right, man. We do have to go for it. I like this comment here. I think Hakan is the Turkish Bruno Fernandes. Well said, Mr. Jesus. Thanks for coming in again. Matt Pickham says, imagine we draw and Inzaghi celebrates like the special one all those years ago. I think you would see that when we're mathematically qualified, but what it would mean to go and get a point at the camp now, it would be absolutely awesome. Bastor is 1 yellow away from suspension. Well, as Bruno... Cop it.
Get a red. Get a 2-game suspension. Who cares?
Marvel says, I think we have them on the wings. They're vulnerable there. I would put Dumfries instead of Damian. I ain't saying a bad word about Matty Dams, bro. Every time he comes on the pitch, he does such a solid job. He's a part of a dying breed of professional footballer that probably doesn't check his social media in the locker room 5 minutes before he jumps onto the pitch. He's one of those guys. Debbie Kerr, shout out Debbie Kerr. Not expecting a good result for Inter at Barca. Hope Inter give him a good game. You're on a hot streak of predicting the right results, Debbie. So I hope you're wrong for the first time here. I really, really think I hope you are. Sartak back again. He says, we had a clear penalty that wasn't given. How can you say UEFA loaner? I'm curious, my bro. How old are you exactly and how long you've been watching football for? Because it's not just us, my friend. It's every other club in the world that knows the rub of the green that you have copped over the last decade and a half. Ironically enough, your manager's got a very short-term memory playing every single minute in all of those games that you stole a spot in the next round. Sorry if I'm being a little bit attacking, but you've come to our turf for this one, my friend. Rocky Ferrara says we just need to not breathe on them inside their penalty box because if we sneeze, we will get a penalty against us. That's a great comment. We know what this is going to be like. Why do you think these guys have sucked all from the top of Catalonia down as well? I really think that they would have gotten over it by now and thought, mes que un club, we go, we win, blah, blah, blah. Just stop talking. But to be honest, man, they're carrying on like children. And nothing would make me happier than to send them out.
I think them carrying on like children just shows where the team's at the moment. They're not competitive. They're not in the sense of, yeah, they're equal first in their league, but at the same time, Real Madrid's lengths and bounds ahead of them.
Yeah,
But
they
they
are.
also knew how pivotal that result against Inter was, and how the 3 points was crucial. Because now, if they got 3 points with Inter at the San Siro at home, it was a lot more flexible. They would have been in Inter's position. But Xavi's looked at it like this: well, we got the result first game. Second game, we were dominating Bayern and we just capitulated. And the third game, Inter got the lead and they did not let us move. And yeah, there was fortunate that went in Inter's favour, but at the same time, with VAR, with referees and everything the way it is, you don't know how it's going to go. So you can't be complaining. You can't be turning around and saying, UEFA or whatever the case may be, Inter got lucky. Well, look, Inter get unlucky as well. So every team has their goods. Every team has their bad. Was it a penalty? Yeah, I think it was. But at the same time, they've given penalties for less. They've said no penalty for more. So
Well done.
the inconsistency just leads us to believe you got to just take it as it comes. Xavi, he's got to suck it up. This I feel is the pressure coming from the top.
Yeah.
Well, you had your free reign last season. This transfer window, you got absolutely everyone plus more. The round of 16 is where you either move or your career ends.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love this comment here from Matt Pickham. Matt Pickham, you're an undercover tactical analysis. You know that, mate? Darmian starting and then injecting Dumfries makes sense against the tiring defense, especially if Barca is still chasing a winning goal. If we've still got the game tied, or God forbid we're leading around about, Inzaghi's fetish time, which I think is about the 55th to 60th minute, that injection of Dumfries is going to be electric. It makes 150 million% sense. At the end of the day, we're trying to park the midfield here. I'm honestly going to go out on a limb and say I think Matty Dams might be one of the first names on the team sheet. Now, when we think about our two wingbacks, Dumfries and Gosens, characteristically, they are not too different from each other. They both are flary. They both attack pace in the space. You can't have them both in. This is where the whole DiMarco, Dumfries, and the whole Gosens Darmian dynamic can come in a bit better. Although we know that he plays DiMarco and Darmian at the same time, I'm with Matt Pickham on this one. Good to hear from you, Amira, as well. Mr. Jesus, again, have you seen the Barca versus Celta, especially the second half? They were bad. Yes, but well said, Inter and Sassuolo, we were not that good.
Look, I think if we go back to what I said earlier, we do have Gosens who could come in for Dzeko, potentially.
As like a wide striker, like Triple F is saying?
Yeah, like Triple F is saying. And I saw an article or a report or a podcast or whatever the case may be of them saying, well, with Correa and Lukaku most probably 99% out, give Gosens that opportunity, because we could see what he did at Atalanta.
Yep.
Because rumors has it January he's out.
Yeah, I know.
What better way to keep the guy in the club when we're lacking strikers? And with Lukaku coming back right before World Cup, you can only picture him getting injured. You saw what happened to Dybala. They're saying he's coming back January of 2023.
That's the last World Cup he was ever probably going to play in with his physical condition.
Right. So essentially, this World Cup's going to draw injuries. You cannot afford to lose a class player like Gosens. Why keep him at the club? Why not tempt him to stay at the club if you bring in and let him play games?
Yeah, fair enough. Nice comment here from Khaled. Thanks for coming in again. Let's remember this team is not the same without Messi. However, they are acting like nothing has changed. But they need to, for their own motivation, to move forward without Messi. I just didn't think they'd carry on over a refereeing decision like this, knowing too well that the whole footballing world was going to ridicule them for the rub of the green that they have gotten so many times. Also, Bruno, did you see the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Madrid fans on Twitter that put an Inter logo in their background, in their display picture to show the support? You got to love that. You got to love that. Bellanova, another player that's pretty much untapped for us in the Champions League at the moment. He's got the pace, doesn't have the experience, but imagine he comes in and gets some good minutes under his belt. What confidence it would give the kid. as we mentioned, and as a couple of other people mentioned as well, Barcelona are coming into this game not in the best form, but as Bruno said, equal in La Liga, 22 points already this season, looking like a two-horse race, given that the Simeone bomb has sort of burst at Atletico Madrid. But as Bruno said, this Real is on a different level. I expect Madrid to not run away, but to beat Barca to the La Liga crown. But I'm not too sure. I'm not as invested in La Liga as some of our other friends. Inzaghi won't play Bellanova in this game, no chance. I agree, unless an injury takes place. De Vrij is the absolute key. If Luva has the time, then he'll make us pay this time around. I don't think so. No? Why not?
I just think this Lua, he doesn't understand Barcelona. Him at Bayern was like a glove on a hand that fit perfectly. Him at Barcelona is like trying to put a glove on your foot. He doesn't know what they don't know how to play for Lewandowski. And when you've got Lewandowski in a team, it's similar to having Haaland in a team. You play for your striker because you know once he's got the ball's in the back of the net 90% of the time. And you look at the goals he scored, who are they against? Nobody's. Absolutely nobody's in the La Liga. Because the two teams they're weak, the two teams they're looking to play against in Atletico and Real Madrid, they're yet to face properly. So essentially, he's stat paddling. He does what Lukaku does best at Inter. He's doing it for Barcelona. Now, he hasn't fit. The glove hasn't fit there yet, and I'm hoping it doesn't fit this game because although he is the world-class player he is, I cannot see him doing what he did at Bayern because you had Müller, Sane, everyone working for him. Whereas this Barca team, too many egos, and they're all playing for themselves. So you really got to see, De Vrij needs to mark Lua, but the issue isn't De Vrij marking Lua. The issue at hand is Barcelona using the instrument in Lewandowski correctly.
Yeah, I like it, man. Well said. Let's talk a little bit about Inter's form going into this, and then I'm going to go over to Bruno. We got the win against Sassuolo. It was painful, even more painful for us considering the times that we have to watch these games. It was really dire stuff. And Edin Dzeko gets his 100th and 101 first. Sorry, 100 and however you say it, man. I've drawn a blank. But either way, the guy's got over... That's the one. He's got over a century of goals in Serie A. And what a day to grab it, like Bruno was alluding to before. You know, Dzeko at his age... confidence is half the battle with him at the moment, and he's going into this game ready to go. The confidence on the guy, if he can grab a goal that gets us a point in this game against Barcelona, oh my goodness, what it would do for us. Now, Lautaro has been a little bit fatigued so far in the last few games. He's on a little bit of a dry streak. Bruno, the world of football was introduced to Lautaro Martinez a few years ago in the beautiful teal jersey, when he absolutely tore the living daylights out of Barcelona on that pitch. That was the game that got his value from, I think we could get 50 million for this guy, to, well, Barcelona are going to pretend that they've got 90 million and are going to offer it. But then the illusion shattered for them. Messi left. When Messi left, Lautaro was like, I don't think I want to go over there anymore. And here we are today. This could be a catalytic moment for Toro.
Yeah, look, 100%. And the good thing and the positives I take from the Sassuolo game, which are very minimal other than the 3 points, is we created opportunity. And Lautaro missed a couple of decent chances, and all it takes is for one of those to go in. Now, if we're creating opportunity with the squad that we do have, then it's up to the strikers to get the ball in the back of the net. But I also say it as if we're creating opportunities, it means the ball's not down in our box. It means the ball's up on that side of the field, which is what you want against this Barcelona team. Now, like you said, I could see this being the game. Lautaro bags a double or gets an amazing goal, which, you know, if you go back to that Barcelona game, how many times has UEFA and the Champions League official pages shared that goal and how brilliant Inter played it from the back? It was one of the all-time great Champions League goals. So, Matt, pick him straight away. 100% creating opportunities for the first time this season. And that's what you want, because you're not going to convert 100% of your opportunities, but Lautaro's on a dry streak, but so has the dry streak starts at the back. The dry streak starts with that build-up play. If Lautaro's not getting any food, how can he eat? So you really need to, the balls really need to start coming in, and Lautaro will put him in the back of the net. He's pivotal in this fixture. He'll be pivotal in this Champions League campaign, just simply because of the fact that he was as great as what he was with Lukaku, and he's had to change his game plan twice this season. So look, before we get onto predictions and everything, on Saturday, our time was midnight, so Sunday, I had the One Football app on, and I was out. I was paying attention to the game, but once it was 1-0 at half time, I was like, well, Sassuolo's going to score 2. 100%. That's how it happened. So I turned it off. One Football reminded me that the first half had ended. The second half had started. Sassuolo got the equaliser. And then I got the notification about the game, and I'm like, oh, well, here we go. Sassuolo 2-1. And I was like, Inter 2, Sassuolo 1. And it was just amazing. I'm not talking them up because, they're sponsoring us. It's only a nice thing to do. But essentially, this app has absolutely everything. Like I use hundreds of apps. When you're in this business, Inter worldwide, football worldwide, you need access to these apps. And what One Football's done is basically condensed the use of 4 different apps into this one app. Accurate statistics, accurate news, accurate, TV guides, accurate formations, everything. And accuracy is everything when you're in the media business, especially when you rely on other outlets to provide that to you. So, look, guys, if you want something, or if you're busy at work and the Inter game's on, download the One Football app, because it'll tell you when to turn on your live stream, because the goals just happened. Because literally, the first goal, I had it up. I'm watching the game on my phone, and the notification came up: Inter 1, Sassuolo 0. And I'm like, but Sassuolo's got the ball. What's happening here? The scores like a minute later. That's how quick they are. So, look, guys, head to the comment in our description, in our title, description, wherever it is, and download the app. Do yourself wonders. And look, for our UK residents, you get to watch a couple of Inter games at the back end of this month for free.
100%. Flight to Leicester already booked to stay with Uncle Shama. So easy done it. This gentleman right here, I love what Bruno said earlier in the video, because that's where I was going with this slide. The pressure is coming from the top. Now, think about what was going on at Barca when this guy took over. It was the, what's his name? What was his name? The previous, Koeman. Was it Koeman? Was he their coach before that? Now, he said, he was genuinely saying that I've saved Barcelona from regressing further. And then Xavi comes in and he goes to the Europa League, and the board's probably like, you know what? He came in halfway through a season. We'll give him a little bit of time. Xavi implements his 10 commandments. Everything seems to be getting better, and it is getting better. At the end of the day, they're top of La Liga. However, Bruno, how do you think the Barcelona board is going to react if this game doesn't go well for Xavi?
Well, for starters, the stadium is going to be filled with 2 types of people: Barcelona fans and Real Madrid fans in Inter jerseys. Essentially, that's how I see it going. But the pressure is there, because when Xavi came, he went from, I think, 11th in La Liga to 2nd or 3rd, or he qualified for Champions League. However, it ended last season. But then he was given this war chest, this absolute banger of a war chest.
Illegal war chest.
I don't know. Let's rename the San Siro to the Spotify Siro, and they'll give us $500 million to spend on players.
You're right.
But, however, they've gotten around it because they didn't get anything. He's gotten absolutely whoever he wants. Lewandowski wasn't even on their radar. Yeah, we'll chuck him in the team. Chelsea was gone for half their Sevilla defender. Yeah, we'll chuck him in our team. Yeah, let's bring Marcus Alonso with us too.
Yeah.
Right? They were getting everyone. And now it's like, well, we've invested into your business, but where are the profits? Where are the results? Because a loss in the Champions League is something like $3 million different to a win.
Yeah. not qualifying for the next round for a club like Barcelona. You
Oh,
stand to miss out on dozens.
But the fact that he whinged and whined and bitched and moaned about a freaking handball late on in the game just shows the mentality, because any other Barcelona would be up 3-0 against this type of Inter team. Why are you complaining about that when you're yet to put the ball in the back of the net?
Do you think this comment from Paulino, and shout out to you, man, this is the first time I've seen you here. Subscribe if you're new. Let us know where you're from. Do you think this could play in our favor in a sense that Barcelona might be a little bit too naive and they might just go hell for leather?
Look at it like this, right? And I'm not sure where you're from, Paulinho, but in Australia, we've got something called the Rugby League, the NRL. There's a team called the Parramatta Eels. They hadn't won a grand final in 36 years, and this was the first time they made a grand final. Now, since they qualified for that grand final, they celebrated as if they won the grand final. Then they got absolutely belted in the grand final. Now, if that's what Barcelona is doing, they're set to be doomed, because none of these players understand pressure yet. Their team is still young. Lewandowski, he's king of the fucking world. Excuse my French there. But he's king of the world. He can do no wrong. And essentially, if he doesn't score, he just turns around and goes, what about the guys behind me?
Yeah.
Where's the balls? How can I score if I'm not getting the ball? Now, in the Manchester City game on Saturday, the commentator said, Haaland's yet to touch the ball. And it was like 20 minutes in. And he was ripping into him. And the other commentator turned around and goes, why does Haaland need to touch the ball? Every time he does, it will be a goal. And as soon as he did, it was a goal. The perfect pass into the box, he scores. So this is Lewandowski. He's untouchable in this squad at the moment. Everyone behind him's got to pull their finger out. Now, if you're hyping this up as if it's a Champions League final, a World Cup final, the last day on earth, the pressure is a lot more than what it is. Match day 4 in the Champions League group stage.
Yep.
And that's how you got to treat it. Because you know what? You might not have Inter, you might not beat Inter, but you still can beat Bayern. You can still beat Victoria Pleasant and watch Inter absolutely capitulate like they do every other season in this league.
Yep.
So the pressure's there.
And
yes, Matty, let me know, because I want to get more of these, and they're pretty nice.
They are nice and snug. I'm happy I got the L. Happy I got the large
and
this
look,
time.
By the end of this month, we might not even have digital bits on our jerseys, so it's nice to have something plain.
Yeah, man, I feel ya. Shout out to my boy Massimo Fazzino, another channel member, our most recent channel member. Thanks for coming in, man. Make sure you watch the whole video back. You will enjoy it. We're only sticking around for another 10 minutes or so for the lineups, and of course our brother Jonathan in the chat as well. Ciao bello. Let's go across to what we can expect. This is where it gets exciting. This is where it gets very, very good and very, very exciting. Let's start with ourselves. Onana definitely starting in goals in this one. I'm glad the anxiety of starting Handanovic in the big games is finally off our shoulders now. We'll just be prepared for a disaster against Salernitana possibly. But Onana definitely in this particular match. Happy to see that back three. Full shout out to Acerbi for having a great season so far, but we've got to stick with the same side that put the sword to Barcelona 1-0. Bastoni, De Vrij, and Skriniar. And who knows, Bruno, with no Brozovic there and no D'Ambrosio in the starting lineup, is there going to be a big number C on Milan Skriniar's arm? And is that going to be the first signs of a renewal? Come on, Bruno, tell us yes.
100%. And I've been calling for him to be captain since Icardi lost it. Since Icardi lost the armband, all right, give it to Handanovic for the rest of the season, but he's sort of become...
obsolete.
It became, we put it in front of his jersey, so he's wearing it. That's all it was. Skriniar needs the captaincy, and you need it in and I can't see anyone else starting with the captain's armband in this fixture. Apparently, talks are going well.
Yeah,
that's
very
all
well said. Cool. Massimo says, Big Rom back yet? He likes to think he would be on the bench for this one. He won't be. But you can guarantee that he'll be on the bench at least for Salernitana, because Big Rom is not going to pass up an opportunity to stat pad himself against a team like that.
He needs minutes before World Cup.
Hard. Godzilla is in the house again. Thanks for joining us, bro. I hope you enjoy the stream. Make sure you watch it back.
Darmian
to start the game. Darmian to start the game. And you know what? If you want to start DiMarco on the left-hand side again, do it. Do it. I'm okay with DiMarco or Gossens, Bruno. I'm okay with either or. And Juice, yeah, dude, take these lineups with a grain of salt, man, because even before the Sassuolo game, right up until the hour mark, Gazzetta and Sky had differing starting lineups. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. It looks like we're gonna clog the midfield a little bit here, but with Mkhitaryan, Hakan, and Barella, I feel like all we got to do is break the line once, and we should be able to feed the ball up top and just put some pressure. Bruno, having a look at our lineup here, is there anything that concerns you or anything that you would change besides the Dumfries Darmian that we just spoke about?
Dzeko.
You don't want him to start. You want to play you want to play another player behind Martinez.
We got no one else to put there. But the biggest worry for me is Dumfries. Rocky Ferrara said it perfectly. Put him on the bench. This team is going to come out fiery. This Barcelona team needs to score and they need to win. Dumfries can't defend as well as Darmian, right? Darmian's proven to defend like a champion in these fixtures. And when you've got Dembele, Lewandowski, and Rafinha running rings around our defense, you need someone like Darmian who can stand and be stable, be that rock. Because essentially, DiMarco can do the same. Brozovic is missing.
Yeah.
Hakan isn't a defensive player. He's more attacking. He scores some fantastic goals from outside the box, but he's more attacking minded. He's more about getting the ball in the back of the net rather than stopping it from going into the back of the net. So you need those two, Dumfries and DiMarco, to drop back. If Brozovic was there, Dumfries wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Or Gossens wouldn't bother me because you still got the two dropping back and essentially turning into a five-man defense. But with Hakan in the middle, which is perfect, phenomenal, I love it, you need the DiMarco and Dumfries to drop right back as soon as Barcelona get possession.
Well said. Chris, I see your comment. I'm just not going to cover Bruno's beautiful face, but I will read it out. Too much quality on Inter. Goals will fall, and a possessed defense will give Barca a big issue again. We have the capability to shut it down. A lot on the line. Major pressure. Barca will panic. I hope so, man. I really hope so. Massimo says, wish we had got Dybala. I was the same up until he did his thigh from the penalty, man. Think about it. Think about how easy it was for him to injure that, bro. I genuinely feel sorry for the guy. That looked like the injury that shakes him up over the next couple of years. Feel for Mourinho because that on top of Wijnaldum, not good. I agree. Dzeko disappoints me most in that lineup. Nicola, we wouldn't have gotten a point on the weekend if it wasn't for Dzeko.
No,
We've got to have faith in the form.
He's talking about this lineup. Okay. And when you're up against, the best of the best when it comes to some of that defensive line, those names there, Dzeko doesn't scream, I'm going to score a goal. I see a goal coming from Martinez, Calanohu, Mkhitaryan. I just feel Dzeko needs the ball to land on his head for it to go into the back of the net in this game.
Yeah,
I'm not criticizing what he did on the weekend because he was phenomenal.
I think Barcelona's defense is highly overrated. I think it's extremely old. I think Alba is past it. I think PK has got enough going on in the media with Shakira trashing his name left, right, and center. I haven't watched enough of Garcia this season. I know he's got the talent, but even Roberto, man, he's not. Jesus Christ, guys, he's not Cafu. All right, so I do think that this team is beatable on the break, especially since we plan to absorb a lot of pressure. Rocky says Gagliardini too to come in from the start. No, thank you. We're hoping that Inzaghi has learned his lesson now. Onana to Dzeko is a perfect tactic, though. We did it last game and it works. Mr. Ping himself, Onana, is going to make sure that ball is not in the danger zone very often. I was too used to seeing Samir Handanovic thinking he was in the Joga Bonito training camp, thinking he could dribble the ball out of the box. But Onana is just, he's where it needs to be, man. So let's move across. Let's move across to the opposition because I think everybody will agree our biggest problems start from the midfield upwards. Busquets, even though he is aging, still has that little ticker in him. It doesn't matter though because he has got the fountain of youth either side of him. Gavi and Pedri, two of the most exciting midfielders on the planet, play the traditional Barcelona style of play. They take the ball, they dribble the ball, they carry defenders, they force the opponent's formation to completely get out of shape. Let's hope that we are on top of this. I think we've got the manpower in midfield to shut this down. But if we're not careful, Rafinha and Dembele are going to run riot. I know a lot of Barca fans that think Dembele is a little bit overrated, that, his end product only comes once every 8 or 9 times that he tries. But at the end of the day, the talent's there. Bruno, of the 6 names that you see on the halfway line and above, why are you scared of each and every one, man?
Look, at Lewandowski, you really got to say, I mean, he's one of the greats. Honestly, one of the greats in the last 5-10 years. Dembele, his pace, and look, he put the ball into the side net a couple of times. Doesn't take much for a deflection for it to go into the back of the net. Rafinha, at Leeds, he was absolutely phenomenal, and I think we'll start to see shades of that. And he's just the main man. He's the main man in this attack in regards to getting that ball to Lewandowski. Dembele, you'll see putting the ball he'll be shooting ball and crossing. Rafinha will be doing the opposite. He'll be looking for that assist. He'll give you the cutlery so you can eat your meal.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, because I'm sorry, just to interrupt, our friend Jono, who has an invested interest in Barcelona as well, I just wanted to ask, can you drop in the comments, Jono, is this the exact same starting 11 that we beat last week? I'm curious. Off you go, Bruno.
Yeah, look, Busquets, legend of the game, legend of Barcelona. Nothing you can really do to criticize him. Xavi, same thing. Pedri, when are his legs going to stop working? Because this guy has not stopped.
Yeah.
Since the start of the 2020 season, pre-COVID. Now, Alonso instead of Alba in the last game, and Christensen instead of PK. So, brought a Champions League winner in they've taken out a Champions League winner in Alonso.
Yeah.
Brought in Alba.
Well, another Champions League winner, yeah.
In Christensen to bring in PK. So, it's interesting.
Yeah, I like this comment here from Matt Pickham as well. Bastoni will be booed every time he touches it. That Insta post was savage. Yeah, and I think that that's going to ignite Bastoni, because I really don't think he as a man appreciated his missus receiving those sort of emails or those sort of social media messages about cutting his legs off. There's a certain element of class that some fans just can't afford and can't buy. All right, Bruno, let's do our favorite part, the most embarrassing part. How's the game going to finish, man? And this is the time for everybody in the comments, the 27 people that have stuck around for Inter Worldwide tonight. Drop your predictions in the comments, each and every one of you. Go, go, go. Bruno, you first.
You go first. I want to know.
All right, sure, why not? I predict 1-1 all the time when I'm pessimistic, so I really don't see why they shouldn't actually grant my wish and give me a draw for once. I think that we can score first. I really do. I think that if we don't concede early and we can get to halftime 0-0, Xavi's going to lose it in the locker room. The whole team's going to lose it altogether. And it could be 1-0. 1-0 to us and then 1-1 by the end of the game. That being said, Pessimistic FC is coming into the chat right now. And even though my heart tells me 1-1, my head tells me 2-1, unfortunately. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Barca. I don't think our campaign will be over, because that away goal might just give us the kick that we need to go in the dressing room and go, we're still alive in this competition. We're still alive. We've got the head-to-head. Barcelona did not score against us at the San Siro. I will put the comments up below. Bruno, what about you?
So the One Football app actually has Damian starting.
Awesome.
Dumfries. But based on One Football, because they're our sponsors and I'm going to use it, 71% of people have predicted a Barca win, with 5% draw and 24% Inter. Now, I think 2-1 Barca, everyone's dropping that. Jonathan, Debbie,
2-1
Marvin's gone 2-1 Inter, but I just feel 1-0 Inter.
1-0 again. That would shake this Barca team to their core.
No, I think 1-0, half the team gets yellow cards and a red card somewhere in there. I just feel Inter have begun the mind games already. And they've already started. But 1-0 is my prediction. Get that banner back up, Jono, because I'm gonna I'm gonna plug them one more time before we wrap this up.
Did you just call me Jono?
I was reading Domino's comment as I was saying it. But guys, get on there, because what they did for me last week on football was my alarms didn't work, and the notification of the game starting popped up on my phone. And because it's a different sound, my ears were like, what? And it woke me up. So get on there. Favorite Inter as your team, because you get all news-related notifications, everything. So it's something perfect. Head down below. Click the link in our description. Download the app. Trust me, it's one of those apps that keep you up to date. But yeah, look, I see 1-0 Dzeko getting a goal, or Hakan. I feel like Hakan's put a target on his back after the last game. They're going to really be wary of him. So I can see Dzeko getting the goal. But that's my heart. My head's telling me 1-1.
1-1. Well, 1-1 would be like liquid gold, Bruno. It really, really would. And then we can count down to Victoria and hopefully shoot for glory. That's going to be it for us this evening, but it's definitely not it for us at all. This guy. But we will be back very, very shortly, hopefully in good spirits. Let me just make sure that I've got timing and everything right, because it's not tomorrow. It's Thursday, obviously.
Thursday.
What time's kickoff for us?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. 5:45 or 6 on the dot?
6 a.m. according to OneFootball.
6 a.m. on the dot, which means that I'm going to have OneFootball open, because I've been on school holidays for the last 2 weeks and I will be at work. I won't be able to tune in and watch this game. Sometimes that's better, because, you don't have the anxiety and the butterflies watching it all the time, and you can stay preoccupied. But yeah, last few predictions coming in. Guaranteed penalty to Barca. Yeah, Matt, by the way, if there's a market for that on Bet365, let me know, because that and Chris Smalling at the back post are going to start making me some money for the rest of the year, man. Speaking of, and I'm glad I didn't forget, we've got an awesome video dropping on Football Worldwide, premiering. I'm going to post it in about half an hour's time with a very quick 7 or 8 minutes roundup of the last match day, which was match day 9 in Serie A, which had some fantastic fixtures. We had Napoli pumping Cremonese, scoring 4 goals. Lazio made history by winning their 3rd game 4-0. No Serie A team has done that in history. Won 4-0 3 times in a row. The Sadismo engine is definitely spinning. We've got the Milan 2-0 over Allegri as well. And I don't know if you guys saw Mattia Destro's bicycle kick against I forget who it was against now, Torino, but it was a very, very good match day. So head over to Football Worldwide in about half an hour or just after this video, and you will see an awesome video drop. There's still 31 people in here right now, including one of our members, Frankie, who's just come in really late. So make sure you rewind the stream now before it ends, Frankie, because if it ends, you might not be able to see it on YouTube for about 3 hours until they calibrate it all. So then you'll have to go and search for it manually. So rewind it now, Frankie, my guy, and start watching it from the start, G. Yeah, you've stayed quiet the whole stream, and now you've come out to have your last say. Thanks for coming, bro. Make sure you come around again, not just when you're playing, all right?
Immobile has equaled Del Piero's record and
he's done that.
Top 10 all-time goal scorers.
He's done it so under the cover, man, because I know people know him as a weapon in Serie A, but he really doesn't get the hype he deserves, does he?
And former Serie A player, De Rossi, is looking to become manager of Spal. They're making it official shortly, apparently. So,
yeah. Beautiful stuff. All right, that's it from us. Yeah. Oh, wait, Rocky's from Melbourne. 70 to 100 millimeters of rain in Melbourne on Thursday. No work for me. There is nothing better than watching Inter win in the pouring rain and staying home outside and staying home in Sydney, man. It's absolutely great. De Putra, thank you for coming in. I know you're late, so just scroll that bar all the way to the start of the stream and enjoy. That handsome man is Bruno. My name is Anthony. We will be back for a Salernitana preview on Friday, Sydney time. Forza Inter. Forza Inter.